Lord, it's all going wrong already. Oh, I'm going to try this and we'll just, you know, if you can see it, you can see it. And if you can't, we'll just have to give it up as a bad job for today. So we've got a partial recording, hopefully somewhere. If this keeps hanging, I'm really sorry. I'm on my hotspot now, so if O2 is letting me down, O2 4G is letting me down, I can't do a lot about it. But just to finish what I was saying then, the 5-day challenge, we're going to be covering goal setting, which we're going to be talking about today, and hopefully you've had a go at the exercise from this morning. Tomorrow is the knowing doing gap. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about why we're back. I don't know how long for, JD, I'll talk fast. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the knowing doing gap, which is, you know, which is basically about why don't we just bloody well do what we need to do to move ourselves forward in life? You know, why do we have this? Some people call it procrastination. You know, Bob would say it's a lack of discipline. You know, he would say it's the inability to give yourself a command and follow it. But there's lots of reasons for that, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Because if you just applied everything that you already know how to do, that you've got smushed up in your knowledge bank, in your conscious mind, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, if you just did everything you already know how to do, you would be much further along than you probably are. You'd be much nearer to your goals than you probably are. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Wednesday is self-image day. Okay, self-image is just massive, right? I have had my own paradigm shift, another one, in the last 2 or 3 months, and it's all to do with self-image, right? It's all to do with, you know, how you see yourself, what you think is possible for you, what you believe is possible for you. I'm going to just turn my Wi-Fi off on my computer, I think. You know, and what you can actually imagine yourself doing in the future, that's all your self-image. And Maxwell Maltz, who wrote Psycho-Cybernetics, said quite rightly, you will never outperform your self-image. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of dreams you've got, what kind of goals you've got, you know, what your wishes are, if you like, what this dream life is that you've got. If your self-image is not in alignment with that, if you can't really see, if you can believe that's possible for somebody else but not for you, if you can't really see how, you can't really imagine yourself living that way, if you have any sort of doubts about your abilities, or you know, you're worried about what other people will think, all that kind of stuff comes under self-image, and it's just massive. You have got to change your self-image. You've got to become the person inside who's going to achieve that big goal that we're going to talk about in a minute, before you can actually achieve it. So we're going to talk about vision. It's just going in and out all the time. Thursday, Law of Attraction Day, so I know a lot of you will be interested in that, Law of Attraction Day, and Friday is about trampling the terror barrier. Alright, so once we've spoken about what your goal is, what you need to do to get there, how to change your, you know, the sort of inner you to become the person you need to become to achieve these things, and we talk about how to get the Law of Attraction working for you, what tends to come up then is the terror barrier, and oh my god, I'm going to have to actually do stuff. I'm going to actually have to take action and do these things that are scaring me, if I'm ever going to achieve this thing. That's what we'll talk about on Friday, on how to do that. So we've got a lot to pack in. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible, which is why I've pared it back a little bit. We're just doing a task every day in the morning, which some of you have already done, which is brilliant. If you haven't done it, please do it. You will see that other people have already put their responses in the comments, which is brilliant, because it really helps me get to know you and get to know what your hopes are and your dreams are, and a little bit about where you are now and what it's going to take probably to get you there. And I think it helps you to actually articulate what it is, you know, the things that you come up with, the things that come up for you, the way that you feel. I think that's quite a helpful process as well. If you don't want to put your actual answers, so like today is a visualization exercise, and I've asked you to I didn't actually ask you to type in what you came up with, but a lot of people have shared what they came up with in their visualisation. If you don't want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But if you just type done in the comments, it really helps with the algorithm. So we've got a private group, right? This is a private group. Nobody who I haven't let into the group can see any of your answers. So very safe space, okay? If you haven't read the How the Challenge Works post from yesterday, have a read of that, please. You will see I am fiercely protective of my community. So I've got your back, right? If you want to post something in here, I can assure you that you will be protected, right? You're not going to be judged by anybody in this group because they'll be out. And because it's a private group, it means it can't be shared. The things can't be shared to other groups. What goes on in the group stays in the group, okay? So if you want to post it, that's brilliant because it really helps me and it will help other people to help you. If you don't want to, type done, that was what I was saying, the algorithm. If you type done in the comments, it helps boost the post because even though we're all members of this group, Facebook still decides what it shows you and it will not show you all of the posts in the group in your Facebook news feed. All right, unless you engage with the group, unless you interact with us, it won't know that you really want to be shown these posts. I know it's silly because it's a private group and you've joined it for a reason, but that's what happens. So the more you comment and the more you like things, the more likely you are to see the posts that I create for you. So the main task for this morning then was that visualisation. And as I said, I've simplified it a little bit. So we've just got one main task in the morning, and then we're just going to do this Facebook Live on an evening, and I'll give you any additional bits and pieces. I might give you an additional bonus task if I think that will be helpful. Just have a quick look at the comments. Sharon Claire, oh, you found us again, Sharon Claire. That's good, thank you. Apologies for the technical issues. I've submitted mine. It's in the comments. I did let mine know, but I saw it, Sharon Claire. I saw it. I might not have. You did it just before we went live, I think, or I saw it just before we went live. So haven't had time to reply yet, but I have seen that, and it's brilliant. All the comments so far are really detailed. I can tell that you've just let your imagination go, and that is what I really want for you. Okay, my aim really for this week. My sort of aim, my wish for you by the end of this week is that you have made a decision. I want you to have made a decision about the goal that you are going to go for, or even if you're gonna bother going for a goal, or whether you're actually satisfied with what you've got. Because Bob always used to say we don't have as many problems as we have decisions to make. And when you make a committed decision that you are going to go for something and that you are just going to spend, and it might sound a bit extreme, but when you make the decision that you're just going to spend the rest of your life, if necessary, going for this particular thing, working on this particular purpose, achieving these particular goals, when you make a committed decision to do that, kind of simplifies life a little bit. It probably feels like it shouldn't, probably feels like it should get really complicated, but it means that you can make decisions about, in all areas of your life based on, is that going to help me get to where I really want to go? And most people are kind of floundering a little bit. Most people are just kind of blowing along in the wind, and they're sort of just getting carried along by circumstance, and, well, I'll do this now, and, oh, well, I'll have a go at this now, and that didn't work, so I'll have a go at this now, without really knowing what the end goal is. And how can you make decisions on a day-to-day basis about things if you don't know what it is that you really want? And I think that's easier to see in hindsight, right? So it's easy for me to say that because I've been through this process lots of times. I'm still working on it, but I've been through this process so many times that I am very clear on what my goal is. I am very clear on what my purpose is. So it's easier for me to look back and think, God, I was just flailing. I was just like bouncing around like a pinball machine, just sort of feeling like I was working really hard, but not really getting anywhere fast. Well, not even fast, I wasn't getting anywhere slow either. And so that's what I really want for you for this week, is for you to make a committed decision about what it is you're going to do, where, you know, what direction you're going to go in after the end of this week. And it might be that you decide that you don't want to, that you're quite happy with what you are, where you are, and I doubt it, people in this group, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't want more. But we'll talk more about that as we go through the week. So today's task then this morning was a visualisation, and I just wanted you to listen to it. Right, the link's in the comments, so please use it. Lots of people say it's really useful. Lots of people say they've seen things they've never seen before when they use it, which is really nice for me to hear. I love it when we listen to it in live workshops. I love watching people's faces when we're actually in a room and they're listening to it, and we get a lot of tears, and you know, loads of things come up for people. It's really, really interesting. So please have a listen to the visualisation. Even if you've done this before, you might have done it hundreds of times. You know, there's a lot of people in here that have been working on themselves for a long time. And we're meditating and writing affirmations and visualising and doing vision boards, and you know, for a long time. If you've been doing that for more than 18 months and you haven't seen a significant shift in your results, you need some help, by the way, okay? But you know, I speak to people all the time. I've been working with the law of attraction for 20 years, and they're still not really that much further on than when they started. And if that's you, you need some help to apply it. But hopefully this week is going to give you a bit of a quick start on that. So do the exercise from this morning. Just let your imagination go. I don't want you to be thinking about whether something's doable or not. You know, I don't want you to be thinking, what do I think I can probably do? And I see a lot of people when we do this in thinking into results, because this is one of the first things we do in thinking into results. One of the things I see people doing is almost they come out with this amazing end goal, this amazing life that they really want to be living, and maybe the business they want to have and the relationship they want to have, and they can see where they'd want to be living, and they can see the sort of financial situation that they're in, and they're really healthy and all these other things, and they come up with this really amazing goal, and then the next time I speak to them, they've kind of pared it back a little bit. It's not quite what it was when they first explained it, and that's your paradigm, right? So we're going to talk about paradigms tomorrow, but we have this sort of built-in this piece of human nature, which we call the paradigm, that basically kind of goes, well, that sounds a bit far-fetched, so I'll just bring it back a little bit. I'll just bring it in a little bit, and maybe that's more achievable. Maybe that's more achievable. So I don't want you to do that, right? I just want you to. Nobody else is going to see it unless you put it in the comments. Nobody here cares. They're all too busy working on their own goal. I don't care what you put. I just love to see it because I know what's possible. But you've got to admit to yourself what you want before you can work out how to get there, right? And you need to let the universe know what exactly it is that you really, really want. So you've got to make the decision about that before anybody can help you, right? Before I can help you, before law of attraction can help you, before the universal laws can work, you've got to know what it is that you want. So that's what I want you to do today in as much detail as possible. Just as kind of bonus point, I suppose, let me just shut my door because my mum's just bringing my daughter home and the dog's going to go. Just bear with me 1 second. Lulu Labradoodle in full voice. The sort of bonus point that I wanted to make for today was you can use that visualisation all week if you want to do that. My Thinking into Results clients, I tell them to do this 3 times a day. Bob used to, as part of what we do, Bob was really passionate about getting people to relax on a regular basis, right? About getting people to get into the habit of being relaxed and staying calm and being able to make calm decisions. And, you can't come up with the ideas that you need. you can't get into the right vibration that you need to be in, you can't attract the thoughts you need to attract, you can't react in the way you need to react to situations and to people if you are tense, if you're uptight, if you are reacting to situations instead of responding. So it's really important that you relax and you keep reminding yourself what it is that you actually want. So by all means, use that visualization that I've given you today. That's what we do. you know, I would do it for this week. I would try, if you can fit it in, do it 3 times a day. Do it in the morning, at lunchtime, and just before you go to bed at night time. And just play with it. Just pretend, right? You don't have to tell anybody else what you're doing. Get your earphones in, get your AirPods in. You don't have to let anybody else listen to it. They don't need to know what you're thinking or what you're seeing. This is for you, right? And the more you do this, the more you visualise what it is you want, the clearer you'll get on what it is that you want. So, you know, because sometimes it starts with a bit cloudy, or I'm not sure, or, you know, what if it's the wrong thing? A lot of people worry about picking the wrong goal. There isn't a wrong goal, by the way. You've got to have something to start with. So whatever your imagination throws up today, go with that for the week, okay? The more you do it, you'll get clearer, it will become more detailed, and what it starts to do is this process of repetition. Right, so it starts, and again we're going to talk about this tomorrow, but it will start that conscious thought, that idea that you've got in your conscious mind, this C-type goal that when you're visualising, you see it in your conscious mind, right? The more you visualise it, the more you think about it, the more you write things down about it, or you listen to yourself saying it, that repetition is going to gradually move that idea down into your subconscious mind, and it's the subconscious mind that's in control of what you do, right? So we're going to go into lots of detail like that tomorrow, but just know that the more you do this, the more you listen to that visualization, the more you expose your subconscious mind, the more you get emotionally involved and really think about, just imagine, what would it be like? You know, that would just be, you know, it would affect my family in this way, it would mean my relationship was like this, it would, you know, I could help the wider community, I could donate to charities, the more emotion involved you get with it, the more your beliefs will start to change, the more your self-image will start to change, all that inner stuff that we need to change to actually get you to where you want to go, that's all going to start to change, and it's the repetition that does that. But in order to do the repetition, you've got to have the picture, and that's what I want you to build today, right? Okay, so do we have any questions? Am I even still online? I think I am. I think I am. Anybody have any questions about what we're doing today, or, excuse me, about the challenge? Sharon Claire's here. I can see you, Sharon Claire. I think JD's still here, hopefully. Question, go ahead, Sharon Claire. Type your question in. Paul has been adding to your list all day. Very good. What I didn't say, the sort of next phase of this, I suppose, what we do once we've visualised and built this picture, the sort of next phase that we go through is lists. So Paul is just saying she's been adding to her list all day, and what we do in Thinking to Results is we build a professional wants list, like a shopping list, and a personal wants list, and it's literally like detail. Like on my first one that I did, I wanted a MacBook because I'd never had a MacBook. I thought this was the sign of like a really successful coach. Had a MacBook and AirPods and, you know, things like that, like minute detail like that, and so your vision is the vision, that you've imagined, you know, things that you've written out in the tasks. That's the sort of vision of the future life that you want. But your goals become smaller things, if you know what I mean. It becomes the house, the car, the relationship, the dog, the boat, whatever, the AirPods, the MacBook, the Rolex watch, whatever it is, you know, all the little individual things. And what gets really exciting is when you start browsing for stuff. A lot of people can't even imagine those kind of things. That's what I was like, you know, when I started this 5 or 6 years ago. I was, you know, I couldn't even tell you what my dream home looked like because of all the reasons. Most people can't articulate their dream. You know, because my paradigm just wouldn't let me even imagine anything greater than I'd already got. So I had to go on. I used to go on Pinterest and go on, you know, Google luxury houses and things like that to actually even get a picture of what it was that I wanted, cars, things like that. I just didn't really know any brand names of cars, manufacturers of cars, and eventually we just add to our lists. You know, and you might, you know, I had Christmas in New York, which we've done now. I had, like I say, the MacBook and the AirPods and all that kind of thing. And I've got those kind of things. And, you know, let's think, whatever you want, whatever you really, really want to have, that kind of goes to make up that vision, that bigger vision, that C-type goal. You want to have an ongoing list, a running list, and just keep adding to them. And they're the things that you tick off. And they're the things that you realise. You know, I've realised when I go through my list from 5 years ago, I go, my God, I've got like 3/4 of those now. I need to keep adding to them. So that's sort of the next stage, if you like, that we would go through. So it's good that you're adding to it. So let me just go back. So Sharon Claire says, so the picture we are building is, what are the boundaries to how big the image needs to be? There is no boundary. This is a good point, Sharon Claire. There aren't any boundaries. The only boundaries are boundaries that you create for yourself, you know, and it's usually limiting beliefs that they will do that for you, right? So some people will come up with a C-type goal that is to be living in, you know, I'll just make it up. Some people will have a C-type goal that's to live in a 5-bedroom house in a rural area and to have a relationship that's happy and long-lasting, and to have 2 children, and to be running a business from an office in the garden. Right, that might be an example of a person's C-type goal. Another person might have a C-type goal of wanting to help eradicate poverty in Africa. Right, they're two different C-type goals. Perfectly legitimate, perfectly doable for both of those people, and they will change as well. So if whatever yours starts off with, it will change. But I just want you to not have, you don't need any boundaries, because this is just an exercise to get you to admit to yourself what it is you want. Okay, we're not asking you how you're going to do it. And this is one of the reasons why I say, or why we say, not to share your goal with anybody else, unless it's in a group like this, or in a mentorship group or something, because most people don't get this. Most people, when you tell them that you've got this big goal, you know, if you start to tell somebody that you're going to go for more than you've currently got, most people will say, oh, how are you planning to do that? And you won't know how to do it. This is the point, right? A C-type goal is something you've never done before. You just know that you really, really want it. And you won't know how you're going to do it. That's why we do what we do, right? Because if everybody snapped my fingers and said, right, I want to spend every Christmas in the Caribbean, and that's my C-type goal, and they just knew how to do it, and they wouldn't need us, right? There's a process that you have to go through, but the very first thing you have to do is decide what it is that you want. It doesn't matter how big it is, it doesn't matter how small it is, really, but it just needs to be something that you really, really, really want, okay? Nobody's going to ask you about it, nobody's going to question you on it, nobody's going to ask you how you're going to do it. Just think, if I could do anything, have anything, be anybody, what would my life look like? That is what I want you to do today. Personal wants and professional wants list. Yes, so that's the sort of next stage, Sharon Claire, that's right. And keep adding, even when you knock things off that list, that's right, JD. Hey Lucinda, hi Lucinda. After achieving my C-type goal last year with a trip to Centre Parks. Oh, I was so pleased about that. Oh, I thought you were going to carry on. Oh, you did press send. This year's goals are so much bigger. Glad to hear it. Not sure how, but I want to ride in America next year. Fantastic. Have you done the exercise, Lucinda? Have you done the visualisation again? Let me just go back and see if I've missed anybody. Let me know in the comments, Lucinda, if you've done the visualisation. So Paula's been adding to her list all day, which is fab. JD, wonderful as always, Emma. Love the content and the fact you're serious about the content, but what I also love is that you are so much fun to be with. Oh, bless you, JD. This is why I like JD coming back time after time. Bless you. And you don't care about my technical errors, faux pas either, which is nice. Always nice to have you here. Right, so Sharon Claire, I think we've answered Sharon Claire's question. JD's right. Keep adding to the list even when you knock things off that list. You want to have that list on your desk. The list of all the little things that you really want, you want to have it on your desk or in your drawer or something, and just keep adding to it. Kind of make a game out of it. You know, if you go out, I do this while I'm walking Lulu, although we do tend to go around the same places. But you know, it's just about being consciously aware when you're out and about. And I keep looking at the wrong camera now because I've switched to my phone. And you know, if you see a house that you really like, go back and note it down. If you see something in somebody's garden, if you see a swing chair in somebody's garden, you think, oh, that's really cool, go back and write it down. If you see something in somebody's window, a nice mirror or something through somebody's window, go back and write it down, because how many times do you're looking for something, or you know, if you want to treat yourself, or I don't know, maybe you're doing a new, maybe you're decorating a room or something, and you think to yourself, oh, I remember seeing something once. I really thought that'd be nice in the front room, and you've forgotten what it is. Have a little book full of these things. You know, you'd be surprised at how quickly you can actually accumulate those things. It happens quicker than you think. So Lucinda, so we've seen Lucinda's goal with Centre Parks. That was, yeah. If you weren't in our group last year, I'm trying to think, we posted a couple of times, I think, didn't we, Lucinda? One of Lucinda's goals was to go to Centre Parks. This is what we say about people have different kinds of goals. So on Lucinda's list of things that she wanted was to go to Centre Parks, because she'd always wanted to go. But you know what it's like, I mean, it's Centre Parks, we go to Centre Parks, and it's, you know, it's a chunk of money. And to a lot of people, it's a really hefty chunk of money to go for 3 nights or 4 nights or whatever. And a lot of people would look at that and go, there's no way I'm spending that. I could go abroad for 2 weeks for that amount of money. But if it's something that you really want, and it is an amazing place to go, if it's something that you really want, even just to do it once, even just to say you've been, get it on your list. You know, Lucinda did, and she went last year, and it made me cry when she sent me the photos. Right, Sharon Claire, I guess I'm trying to ask. There are no boundaries, but I guess I'm worried about whether I'm being too general or too specific. I guess I'm worried about the balance, about being too general to see the bigger picture, but specific enough to get those key and unique details in. I understand that the image keeps getting refined, but my wants, my true wants I've written down, do not change. Yeah, so the way that we do this normally is we start off with the visualization of, now if you've listened to my visualization, and some of you will have done and some of you will have thought, I'm not listening to that, I'll do it to some music, which is fine, but there's a reason I've included the visualization, because it walks you through specific things, and it includes motion, which is really interesting, right? When you're trying to visualize, apparently it's a scientific fact, it's a psychological fact that if you include motion, you can see things clearer. So, for example, if I said to you, go to your kitchen in your mind and see your fridge. Okay, I want you to go to the kitchen and see your fridge in your mind and describe it to me. Okay, it's not as effective as if I say, okay, I want you to imagine you're walking into your kitchen and you're walking up to the fridge and you take your right hand and you open the fridge door and you reach inside the fridge door and you take out a glass bottle of milk and you open the milk and you drink from the milk and you put it back in the fridge and then you close the fridge door. Okay, I don't know if anybody did that while I was saying it or thought about it while I was saying it, but there's a psychological impact that's greater on your imagination, if I've worded that correctly. Your imagination works better and more effectively when you involve motion. So that's part of the reason why I did the visualization the way I did it. All right, so just to let you know. But basically, it doesn't matter how sort of Sharon Claire's used the word broad, but I suppose even fuzzy. Some people when they first start, they can't even articulate what it's about. They just kind of have a feeling, sort of know how they want to feel, and that's fine too. You've got to start with where you are, and the more you write it down. So I, as part of TIR, we write out our goal once on a morning and once on a night time. The more you write that down, the more detailed it will get. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult when we're visualising. So when I'm visualising during the day, I tend to visualise a certain piece of my C-type goal. So I might visualise, I might think about the house that I want to have, right? Because we're sort of aiming for our dream house now. I might think about maybe having Christmas in the room of our dream house, right? That might be one session that I did on visualising for 15 minutes, whatever. And then the next session, I might visualise about being in Toronto with my PGI colleagues and getting an award on stage or something, if that's part of my C-type goals. So you don't have to visualise the same piece of your C-type goal every single time. It's about the feeling that it gives you, right? So we're going to talk more about vibration later in the week, but it's more about seeing the piece of that bigger picture that lights you up, that makes you feel really excited, that makes you feel really motivated. So you will, if you write your goal out once on a morning and once on a night time, and as much detail as you can, you will get more detailed. And the more detailed it is, the better, really. But the reason it's better is because usually the more detail there is, it drives emotion. Usually, if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling excited or motivated or driven, by this goal, quite often it's because it's not specific enough. So the more detailed you can get, the better. But don't worry about it. The other mistake, or another mistake people make is getting getting worried about it's not detailed enough, it's too detailed, it's not big enough, it's too big. What you're going to find and what you'll hear more about tomorrow is it's not usually the goal that you pick that holds you back. It's your paradigms. Right, so it's not where you want to be that's holding you back, usually. It's where you are now and what's going on around you and within you now. So yes, we need to pick the goal. It needs to be something big that's going to excite you, and you need to be thinking about it as much as you can. And it's okay if that changes. And don't worry about it being too big, and don't worry about it being too small. It just needs to be something that you really, really want to do when you've got to just pick something to go at. Excuse me. I hope that's kind of, yeah, got it. I've started with what I really want, because I need to trust the process. Oh, I wish Louise was here. She laughs at me when I do say that a lot. Trust the process. Rescind just the C-type goal. I've missed the visualisation. Okay, the visualisation's in the actual task, Lucinda. So if you just go back when we're finished, if you just go back to where it says day 1, task 1, the post, there's a link to the visualisation. I'm looking at it on camera again. There's a link to the visualisation in the actual text of the task above the video. Have a listen to it. I've got my own little fan club going on. That's really cute. Paula loves Centre Parks. I adore Centre Parks. I tell you, I've got so many lovely memories of Centre Parks. Paula, love the visualisation. First time I've actually done the exercise properly. I don't know what it is about that. That so many people say that they've sort of done those visualisations and meditating and things before, but there must just be something about that particular. I don't know if it's the music or my voice, or I don't know what it is. But a lot of people say that they really like that. So I'm really glad you've done it. Okay, Sharon Claire's going to listen to it again. I did listen to it this morning, but I wrote my dream life image this afternoon. I will do this as one session side by side. Needed some space and time to think today. Typical Monday. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, got it. It's really clever with the visualisation of the task. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The motion, how motion, and I would use that. You know, if you struggle to come up with details in when you're visualising. So let's say, let's say you. Well, let's think about a house, just as an example. Let's say that you'd really like a new house, but you're struggling to think about the detail behind it. Start walking through the house and notice what's going on. You know, what colour are the carpets? What kind of furniture have you got in there? Are there French windows? Is there a ceiling fan? You know, just start to walk through, start to open things, open cupboards, pick things up in your imagination, and see what difference it makes. All right, twice a day, AM and PM. yeah, I tell you, this stuff works. This stuff that Bob, bless his soul, gave us works like magic. It's not magic. It's nowhere near magic, but it absolutely works like magic if you are willing. And this was the other thing that I was just going to talk about quickly before we run out of time. If you're willing to do what you need to do, it works a dream. But there's a lot involved, you know. It's simple stuff, but it's not easy because you've got to keep at it. You've got to be consistent and consistent with it, and you've got to be persistent. Because it doesn't happen quickly. You know, if you think about how you got to where you are, that's happened over decades. And if we want to change it, it won't take decades if you do what we tell you to do. But it's not a quick change. We've got to change. You've got to do some serious reprogramming. So yeah, we visualise 3 times a day, and we write our goal out twice a day, amongst other things. And that's what does it. It's the repetition that does it. It's the repetition that reprograms your subconscious mind, starts to change your behaviour, and it's the change in your behaviour that changes your results. JD, get into the habit of doing anything. Visualisations, for example, is always difficult at first, but it's surprising how quickly you get used to it, and it becomes an integral part of your day. It does. yeah, I mean, I used to struggle to get up early. I mean, I've got 2 young girls, and I used to really struggle to get up early on a morning, even though I need to, because if I'm going to fit in what I need to fit in and work round them and school runs and all the rest of it, I do have to get up early, and I get up at 5 o'clock now. I've got up at 5 o'clock for a long time now, but it was hard to start with, very, very difficult to start with. It's physics. Yes, it is. Physics and quantum physics absolutely is. That's how I like to see it. I mean, it is using universal laws, and that is physics, and quantum physics absolutely is. And we're going to talk about more of that on Thursday when we talk about law of attraction, actually, and vibration and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's science, which is why it's the Science of Success Challenge, right? So, biggest takeaway from today, well, sorry, just to go back to what I touched on briefly. When we're talking about goals, okay, and when we're, you know, what I want you to be thinking about this week, when I said to you, my want for you this week was to make a decision about what you really want and whether you're going to go for it. When you come up with that big goal, when you see that sort of, that vision of how you want your life to be, you need to ask yourself, first of all, am I able to do this? Right, well, I can tell you now, you are able to do it. I don't care what it is, you're able to do it. Because if other people have done it, which they will have done, you're able to do it. You might not know how, but that's different to being able. Right, you're able to learn things, you know, you're able to learn new techniques, new skills. You know, you're able to follow somebody else's lead, so you're absolutely able to do it. The second question is, are you willing to do what you're going to have to do to achieve that goal? Because this is the sticking point for most people. Most people that I speak to really, really want to make a change, but when it comes down to what they're actually going to have to do to make that happen, that's when things start to fall off a little bit. You know, well, I really, really want it as long as I don't have to do this. I really, really want it as long as I don't have to do this. I really, really want a successful business as long as I don't have to sell. You know, that's a prime example. And things like that. You know, you've got to ask yourself, is this goal a goal that I am willing to do whatever I need to do to achieve it? And if the answer is yes, then you're halfway there. You know, we can help you with the rest of it. The rest of it's just self-image and law of attraction and attitude and all the other things that we teach. So so am I able and am I willing to do this? That's what's going to make the decision for you this week. Getting into regular study each day was very difficult for me, but now my day isn't complete until I've done it. It's funny, isn't it? I feel really put out if I haven't done my study on a morning. I feel like something's not right, and lots of people in TIR say that. Brilliant, the Science of Success Challenge. Okay, getting excited and more enthused and less worried now. Good. Oh, we don't want to be worried, Sharon Claire. That will negate everything. Don't be. This is not a place to worry. Perfectly safe here, my friend. Yes, I'm willing. I have no comfort zone at the moment. I'm packing up my home and in the midst of preparing for a home move. Well, if you're already out of your comfort zone, then why not extend it a bit more? That's all I say, Sharon. Sharon Claire, I must remember to add that you're Claire in. I'm a Claire. My middle name's Claire. I'm Emma Claire Hague, spelt the same, by the way. Paul is looking forward to Self-Image Part. That comes on Wednesday, Paula. Yeah, Self-Image Day is a good day. We get a lot of tears on Self-Image Day. In fact, I get a lot of tears in general. Maybe that's something I need to have a look at. Right, okay. Excuse me. Any questions? Any last questions before we head off? Because we've just about done an hour. We'll be people will be looking at the replay time and thinking, "Oh God, I'm not sitting and watching that for an hour." I'll just hang on a minute just in case any last questions. So, knowing, doing gap tomorrow, Self-Image Day on Wednesday, Law of Attraction Day on Thursday, trampling the terror barrier on Friday. Any last minute questions? Sharon Claire's getting excited. 5:30 my first day for depot. I saw that. Really appreciate your time, very welcome. Yeah, same time, same channel tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully we won't have the blooming problems with the internet, but you know, who knows, we're in the hands of the gods. Right, alright, I'm going to head off then. So thank you very much everybody for joining me, those of you who got here live, those of you watching the replay. If you could, please, if you're watching me live now, if you can type live in the comments just to boost the algorithm so that other people see it. If you're watching the replay, if you can type replay in the comments, again, that would really, really help. Didn't catch the bonus task. Well, I kind of melded it into the live. So the professional wants list and the personal wants list is the bonus task. So I kind of melted it into what we're about to do this evening. Fab, live. Oh, thanks for being here, Lucinda. It's nice to see you back. Paula's live and it's awesome. Bless you. Bless you, Paul. Yeah, so if you're watching the replay, type replay, please. Just helps boost it so that more people in the group will see it. Otherwise, lots of people will miss us and they'll have missed an amazing session, won't they? Right, all right. I'll be back with you tomorrow. The task will be released 6 a.m. in the morning, as it was today. If you're not getting the Facebook messages, the Facebook Messenger prompts, and you want them, just put a little comment underneath here and I'll send you the link to sign up for them. You should be getting the email just to remind you when things are happening and links to the tasks and stuff. But if you've got any questions at all, please put them in the group. That's what I'm here for this week. So you can come on the lives and ask. If you type them into the group, I'll just accept them. If you've got any questions at all, then I might have the chance to reply directly during the day, or I'll save it and answer it on the Facebook Live at night time if it's easier to do that. But ask me any questions that you've got at all. I'm open to any questions this week. Please use me while I'm here, because this is my priority for this week. These 5 days are for you. So make sure that you get what you need from me. While you've got the opportunity. All right, good. Right, I'm going now, otherwise I'll be here all night. All right, have a lovely evening, everybody. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Bye for now.